What is up, bros? Josh here. Today's video is all about the Tier 9 USN Battleship, the Iowa, and this is a ship that personally I haven't played in a long time, and I feel like it overall is a battleship that has been kind of forgotten. What I mean by that is Tier 9 has become a stacked tier for battleships. Mainly there's three culprits for that. You have things like the Musashi, which is a Tier 9 Yamato. You have the Missouri, which is kind of just a better version of the Iowa since it gets radar. Now you have the Jean Bart, which is also a Tier 9 French battleship, which in my opinion is one of the more fun battleships at this tier. And then on top of that, you have things like the Georgia that's also coming. There's a lot of competition for extremely fun, different, and just straight up stronger battleships. And the Iowa is something, and this is why I love my Road to Tier 10 series, if you haven't checked that out, is this is a thing that I've made a new account for, and I play a lot of ships I really haven't played in a long time. I honestly think my last Iowa game, and whenever it gets requested on stream, we play all these games live on stream, twitch.tv/mejosh, come check us out. But whenever an Iowa game gets requested by somebody or they want to see an Iowa play, I always play my Missouri. I'm like, hey, is it okay if I just play my Missouri? Because it's kind of just a better ship. It's more viable since it has radar, and you could really see this in the latest rank season where it was Tier 9 for arms race, where things like the Missouri, the Musashi, and the Jean Bart basically reign supreme just of their utility and overall better version of the ship. But the Iowa itself, I feel like is still just so freaking solid, and this ship overall, I think I'm averaging, my average damage on this has to be well over 100,000, and it kind of surprises me from time to time. However, I do see that there is some weakness for the ship compared to a lot of the other counterparts, especially when you talk about something like the Musashi. I mean, it's hard to not say a Tier 9 Yamato is better than X ship or whatever. But the Iowa, though, still an absolute slugger, and in my opinion, just kind of a lost or forgotten about Tier 9 battleship. But in this game, though, we are playing, this was a fun one. I like playing this ship a lot, and it definitely still does slam some red ships. But overall, we do have a lot of fun in this one and a lot of things to farm, as we are top tier as well as the CV. The Iowa still has a decent amount of AA when it comes to the ship and can be very competitive. And you will see just how much the ship can still tank, how much it can still heal, and shake off a lot of damage. Unlike a lot of other battleships that there is. Still, though, it is a USN battleship, so kind of known for, and I think this Edinburgh gets the luckiest rolls ever. And man, when a battleship gets a salvo like that, but you just lead it wrong, it's not you, it's not the ship, it's you. I felt bad because that thing could have been so amazing. I think we were probably just a tad behind. That's why there was the overpens. But this ship, though, I feel comfortable in it, and it's been so long since I really have played. I can't really emphasize that. I mean, we're talking years since I have played this before playing it on the new account, and that's why I just really enjoy this new account, because there's so many ships that I've kind of forgotten about. I mean, the Montana, which follows it, is still to this day one of my favorite Tier 10 battleships. And the Iowa, I think, has just, ever since the Missouri, really the Missouri, which was years ago now, has kind of just outshadowed it, outperformed it. And not only does it just bring a great credit maker, it just brings kind of a stronger version of the ship, bringing in that extra radar in. So really, if somebody has the Iowa compared to the Missouri, most likely they're going to bring the Missouri. But this is something that I've even seen recently, like a lot of people saying, hey, is it worth skipping the Iowa? And really, no, this thing is an absolute monster. You're going to see what this thing can do. We're down pretty early here, but I kind of noticed that, as you see, there's 5 ships over here. It's time to make a move, and I feel pretty comfortable. I wouldn't feel as comfortable in the Jean Bart making this move because I know the Jean Bart can't tank as much, but I feel pretty dang comfortable when it comes to being a battleship in this ship. I wouldn't even quite feel as comfortable in the Musashi, although I'd probably be hitting bigger salvos from farther away, but I feel really good. Maybe the luckiest Buffalo in all of the server, because broadside at 6 kilometers and we get 6 overpens or 5 overpens, whatever it was. Very, very, very lucky, but don't worry, we will get our revenge on this. But I mean, this is just the strength of the Missouri, I'm even saying the Missouri, as the Iowa itself is the ability to just bow tank lots of damage. And on top of this, we have a bit of a bummer. And this was a game that was a lot of fun to play because it was one of those roller coaster games, as you'll see shortly. But still, feeling pretty good actually in an Iowa. I just don't want to get rammed. We have the Sinope in the back. We have the Edinburgh Eddie on the side. We have the Colorado over there as well. We have the Buffalo that is apparently made of Swiss cheese because we just overpenned him. And still, if we can survive this, I think we're going to be okay. And you may ask why I'm aiming so high. I think I probably could have overmatched that. I always forget the values because, again, I haven't played this ship, so I'm still getting comfortable in this ship again. It's something I really haven't been comfortable in a while. Normally when you start playing other ships, you get used to what it is capable of. And this is a ship that was still pretty foreign to me, even though I've obviously had it for years and years and years. But I really did, I wasn't quite sure if I could do that. That's just kind of something I found kind of funny, if you will. But Iowa, or the Buffalo, is going to give us another chance. We got super lucky, and still we finally, I think I even said, quote, it's time for you to send you back to port. And there's the 2. And then I thought he would probably creep forward, but just sitting broadside. I mean, we can't not punish a Buffalo. And there he goes. So it was a overpen salvo, full pen, overpen salvo, and in the end the teammate got this. But still, I mean, we're already at 1 million tank damage. We're doing fine. And one of the things that I kind of forgot that they did was the change to the heals. The heals are much better on this ship now. As you see, that gray bar is pretty big. The potential health pool of the Iowa now is extremely strong. That's something that the Missouri didn't get. So, but still, in this spot right here, and I kind of forgot if I was able to do this too. It's really funny to kind of, I've had this ship for so long, it's really funny to kind of go through a learning process again of what ships are capable of doing. Knowing that this ship is pretty dang strong, I have the Colorado over here taking some shots, so knows he basically can't pen me, and still again trying not to get rammed. That's the bummer. And the Jervis, we will get the final laugh, but he'll get definitely one. That is pretty noticeable here, and still going against those guns. I was trying to knock out the guns, see what I could do here, try to help out our Colorado, and we got 5 full pens for 4,000 damage. That's a feels bad man right there. I was hoping for a little bit more damage, maybe a destruction on one of his turrets, and could have probably hit that. But we are full retreat. Now this is a spot I would love to be in the Jean Bart, but our Colorado actually angling in, and still trying to just, again, not get rammed. Going for that superstructure up there, and we'll get the salvo. And I was hoping that maybe he put the torps on the Colorado. That would have been awesome. We're still continuing just to go backwards, trying to angle away. But we are going to pray to our armor belt. We got it a little late. As you see, I wish our King George would have been a tad closer. We take 4 Jervis torps. That is a bummer. We're definitely going to need that health a little bit later. But actually, we really won't. But you'll see why. But the King George, if he would have been a tad closer, he's just trying to blind fire in that area for some reason. If he would have been a tad closer, probably could have killed that destroyer and would have avoided that big torp salvo. But can't control everyone that's on your team. But still, we can make it happen. And we've kind of brought it back. We've had this Custard's last stand right here, and we've gotten 2 kills, tanked some more damage. Our Colorado is barely alive, but he should. He's trying to blind fire. Honestly, in that situation, he probably should just stay dark. We need to get this cap as well. And as you see, our King George, I was like, I think the King George might be really low. Maybe that's why he's so far back. Yeah, he's full health, so a bit of a bummer. Again, we could have avoided a lot of that damage, and I would have felt a lot more comfortable pushing this, because even going against the Colorado, we're up to about 30,000 life. Colorado, the Eddie's in smoke. Eventually, we'll just get the Eddie. We'll just probably spot him. Who's going to try to go for a torp salvo? We know that their Colorado has been pretty passive, but still, Colorado has big caliber guns and can cause us some punishment. So that's what we're going to kind of work on right here. Luckily, he's sitting broadside, so we'll start with a nice 10k salvo and work our way down. But we do need to be careful. Colorados are very punishing against any battleship just because of their caliber of gun. So nothing I can just sail broadside to or anything like that, because we can definitely get punished. And as you see, there's 5k gone that we need. With taking that 40 some k, if not more, salvo from torps, we are kind of lower on life than we really want to be. Luckily, though, Colorados tend to take decent pen damage. They are relatively armored, but they tend to take pretty full pen damage against kind of everything else. And there's our Eddie. I was praying to get good dispersion here, and praying to see if he gets torps. We're going to go a little bit to the left here because he probably just jumped, and waiting for him to maybe go a tad more broadside. And we get some of the maybe signature Iowa dispersion right there, and you'll see another overpen salvo. You know, it's one of those, if that was my Eddie, it would have been a double sit, but gets a little lucky. So we're in a bit of a bummer here, again, hoping not to take torps. But the things that the Iowa brings to the table is its ability to tank. We've tanked so much damage when it comes to this, and we're still feeling pretty good. And then the first salvo was 2 overpens, and that one was 1. He even ricocheted 2 of them in the Eddy. And here we have another salvo potentially on the Colorado. And we actually pretty much juked the majority of his salvo. And there's the pen. The ability to tank, though, in the Missouri, or I keep saying the Missouri, the Iowa, is fantastic. And then on top of that, it just has decent speed. I felt has really good maneuverability, and really just kind of enjoying it. I really kind of risked it right here to get the back turret on. I was hoping to maybe get the double sit if we could. I think we get one more. Maybe get one more. So he's super low. Again, another spot of, if we just had a tad more support from our team, we probably wouldn't have taken that salvo. A bit of a bummer, but we are going to get that, and we will get the kill right there. Kind of just having to do our own thing. We can't really rely on many people from this, but the rest of the team, as I said, he's behind us. I wish I wish he would have helped out just a tad more, because one could have saved me from a ton of damage if he would have been anywhere productive. But luckily, the rest of the team does help out the rest of this game, and we can finally make this epic comeback happen. But still, Eddie didn't end up dumping torps on me, or else I didn't. At least I didn't see him. And we're going to be able to hopefully sail broadside. Now, I thought this was going to be the situation we always seem to be in, where he's going to pop up as soon as I have this island in front of me. I remember thinking it specifically, this was the order of things going to happen. Delay of spotting, island's in front, we miss it, he's going to get away. But luckily, we got that, and Iowa's going to lock us in this time. So there we go. A nice little dev strike, double sit. There's the Iowa doing Iowa things, and already up to 4 kills, close quarter combat, dev strike, 63 target hits, some secondary hits as well as plane hits. We're doing good so far. I do not want to take torps though, but we're kind of wondering if we can make this happen. But look at that score. We're down 4 ships, or no, we're up 2 ships, but we're down 400 points, and we don't have caps. This is something you just slowly lose over time, and we have 7 minutes to make things happen. Luckily, people are going to start listening, and we're going to start working together. King George is going to go to B cap. Colorado is going to cap A. I'm going to push due east along the D line and see what we can do, because we need to get a couple more frags. Basically, you just need to kill out this game and kind of stop the bleed of points. And what I mean by bleed of points, if anyone's ever wondered what I mean by that, is stopping the bleed, or if I've ever typed it in game too, means they are getting points per cap. So stopping the bleed would mean us blocking the caps. Now, a lot of people don't really understand this or how this works. If you just basically go onto the cap, obviously it stops them from getting it. It's not that we need to cap the cap, it's we are stopping them from getting points. We will eventually go and get A cap. We will eventually stop B cap almost permanently. But a nice thing that could kind of happen here is the King George continue to move east. Colorado gets A. We continue to knock out this Gneisenau, and then even if the King George left B cap and then went on to C cap as the same time I took B cap, that's probably our best case scenario. It's not that the King George needs to continue to dodge things and stay on B cap and actually cap it out. It's just halting the points so they don't get to 1,000. So that's what I mean by stopping the bleed. I think a lot of people, I'm like, hey, just go on to that cap. They go, no, I won't be able to cap it. There's blah, 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 blah. Even if you just go onto a cap and slow it down or stop the progress from them getting points, that can make or break you getting that game or winning that game. Just getting the points from a kill, just delaying that long enough to get that kill is pretty awesome. But we're at the situation right now where we aren't going to be able to cap the caps fast enough, because pretty much our King George will get permanently reset. The reason being is he's really close to a Kaga. Kaga's planes are extreme, or it has a lot of planes in its reserve. Luckily, they are pretty fragile, so he's going to cut through them a decent amount. As you see, he only has like 1 torp left. But the Gneisenau is going to go down. He's going to burn it. I think he obviously wrecked 1. And shout out to the King George for staying on cap. He was doing a very good job at that point. So the CV needs to go spot, and again, we have 4.5 minutes to not only get in range of the Kaga, but also kill the Kaga. We're just down on points, and the King George just wanted to remind the Ganais now that he's dead. So, and right now, it's our... One of the things is our Shokaku tried to... he was trying to keep him spotted. It's a decent thing, but at this point, we have to just kill him. We have to push through. We only have 4 minutes. But we're going to try to keep pushing, and the King George, again, going to be able to get the B cap, which is actually kind of nice. He does have fighter cover, and he will get my AA as well. But one thing we need to be really careful about is the King George is relatively low. I only have 16k, and the thing is the Kaga can kind of push through. So our Shokaku is just going to need to strike. There's no real other option. We just have to chunk through. One of the things you can do, though, it's a good idea, right? Like him using that squad of planes to keep the Kaga spotted. One thing he can do constantly is, one, start moving east himself, because the closer he is to the target, the more planes he can bump out. I do have 1 fighter plane left. Yeah, as I'm telling the King George here, we have to push over to C-cap. And hopefully try to tie this together and burn through the rest of the planes. But CB can start pushing that way, but one thing the CB can do is really leave fighters. As you saw, he left a fighter in the top right corner of the map. That will just be within range of the CV, and really that's all he needs to do. So if you are a CV player and you don't want to use your group of planes to keep something spotted, you can obviously just drop that fighter, as you see right there, and within a certain range can keep that Kaga spotted. The Kaga's playing this correctly because he knows he just has to stay alive. Stay alive and potentially get a kill and just lock it in. If I'm him, we're probably feeling pretty good. He has 41,000 life. He's in a good spot, but then I chunk him for almost 19,000. So he goes from feeling extremely good to going, oh crap, because 2 citadels, 1 citadel, as long as I don't get absolutely chunked here, which we do, but it's okay. As long as we can kind of get that, we'll be all right. I'm going to have time for 4 salvos with 2 minutes, and I'm feeling pretty good. Honestly, our Shokaku can probably burst through him with a couple drops as well. So I'm thinking as long as I get 7,000-8,000 damage, we're probably gonna be okay. Also, the shout out to the autopilot. It kind of pushes him perfectly broadside, so it's pretty nice. But it was a good game by our team, and then on top of that, we are 194,000 damage. No big deal, and we're within range, but it was awesome. So a couple things to just take away from this. One, learning how to just stop the bleed, as I mean by that, is stopping the caps and giving your team the chance to really make things happen. And little tips and tricks if you're a CV player to keep things spotted, but that's a GG right there. I kind of called it before it even happened, like a typical cool guy, because there's our Kraken and there is that. But overall, I've fallen back in love with this ship. It's a ship I haven't played in forever, and I forgot how good this was. Now, obviously, it does get outshined by the top 3 battleships. I think, though, honestly, with the USS Iowa, I think they battle it out for 4th best Tier 9 battleship. And I still feel like this ship itself doesn't get enough credit for really how good it is. Definitely worth going through. Even at stock, I was having really good games with it, and really just able to pump out a lot of damage in this ship, and still just a contender for being Tier 9 battleships. You don't ever feel really weak in this ship. You just feel you feel good. You just feel good in this ship. But anyways, the Tier 9 Iowa, the USN Tier 9 battleship, a ship that forever will have a place in my heart and a spot in the port before I have to sell it, before I buy the Montana, I guess, until then. But anyways, just want to make this quick little video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the Iowa. Do you still have it? Did you replace it with one of the other Tier 9 premium ships? And is it one of your all-time favorite battleships? I'm really kind of interested to see. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.